Guys, we got a very special guest today. I'm sure you know him. One of the top NFL tight ends. Plays for the New England Patriots. He's from Pulaski Academy. Was an Under Armour All-American. Had offers from everywhere. Stanford, Georgia, Bama, literally everywhere. Decided to come to the University of Arkansas and be a Razorback. Played for 3 years and won the Mackey Award, which goes to the top tight end in college football. Right? This guy's a big deal. He was then drafted in the second round to the San Diego Chargers. And since then has just been balling out. He's one of the most consistent, great guys that I know. And please give me a round of applause for Hunter Henry. What's up, big dog?
Man, you were the ultimate hype man, dude.
I'm trying. I'm doing my best, baby.
I love it.
You deserve it. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and then we're going to do some Q&A at the end, so y'all get some questions ready. But getting to the NFL, it doesn't take just one moment, one good moment. It's a consistent string of moments, right? You got to be consistent. You got to be at performing at a high level, not just one time, but a lot of times. Every single time you step on the field. And so when I think about Hunter, I think about a guy who never drops a pass, who catches every ball, whether it's in practice or in a game, right? And every single time he steps on the field, he's balling out, right? The level of performance doesn't really take a drop. So Hunter, talk to them about the importance of consistency and what that means and how you go about your routine to make sure that you consistently perform on the field.
Yeah, consistency, guys, is the biggest thing. And that's each level you go to, right? Middle school, high school, the level's gonna go up every single time. So what's gonna set you apart? You gotta be consistent. You gotta bring it every single day, especially at my level I'm at now. I gotta show up every single day. I gotta prove it to my teammates. I gotta prove it to my coaches. I gotta prove it to the scouts. I gotta prove it to the fans on Sundays. I gotta prove it to everybody. So I gotta be consistent every single day. So practice, my workouts, everything's important. And you gotta look at it that way. And I found that when I was young. Honestly, when I was in like 8th or 9th grade, I finally kind of started putting the work in and realizing, finally seeing the dividends of that every day that I put in. But consistency is huge. I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't consistently put in that work, consistently go out there and try to get better every single day. So I preach that all the time. Consistency is got to be the biggest thing. You got to show up every single day, ready to bring it, ready to be your best.
And through that journey, right, it's not always going to be sunshine and roses, right? It wasn't a perfect, everything came easy, right? You had to battle through adversity in order to get to where you got. Talk about how important adversity and being able to overcome adversity, how important is that to your career in football?
Yeah, it was, adversity's hard, man. It's life and things are going to be thrown in your way a lot of times. A lot of times I had it pretty good for a while. Honestly, he was listing off some accolades. I mean, I came out, I was successful in high school. Honestly, in college, I was successful, and I never had anything that kind of threw a wrench in that. Till my third year, it was just a simple practice. Third year in the NFL, simple practice. I ran an out route on air. I cut, boom, my knee collapses. Something. I was like, man, this hurts. This is brutal. I don't know what this is. Go in, doctor checks it all out. Find out I tore my ACL. Season's wiped away, football's taken away, everything's taken away. You put all this work in, like I was just saying, consistency. I felt like I put all this work in, what? I just got this taken away in one moment, right? I feel like God put something in my life, why I was questioning everything. Why did I put all that work in? Why did I do everything? But at the same time, as I went through that, as I processed that, I realized this is going to be, I'm gonna use this. This is just another hurdle in my life that I can, I think not in the moment I was thinking this is going to be better on the other side, but as I look back on it, it was such a great time for me, and I grew so much in that adversity. I grew in that valley. and I'm actually a better person and a better player and a better man because of the adversity and the trial I went through. So when you get hit with adversity, you get hit with a trial, you get hit with something, a roadblock, sometimes it can be hard to be like, in the moment, it can be hard to process that and what to do with it, but I promise you there is a reason for it. There's something better on the other side. You just got to keep pushing, you got to keep working, you got to keep pushing through it.
I love it, dude. I love it. Yeah, sometimes things are out of your control, and so having that mindset of I'm going to use this to my advantage, that's what he's done throughout his career. So talk about who's an example of a good teammate, your best teammate. What makes them a good teammate, and why is it important to have teammates around? Like, can you do this on your own? Did you do this all by yourself? Right?
Well, it was you. You're my best. You're
No,
best
yeah, other than me, of course.
Yeah, you're my best. Gosh, there's a guy that I've played with the last 3 years with the Patriots. Probably a lot of y'all don't even know him. I mean, you should. So he just strictly plays special teams. His name is Matthew Slater. He played 16 years in the NFL. One of the greatest dudes I've ever met. One of the greatest players I've ever met too. One of the hardest workers I've ever been around. Dude dedicated everything to every single day. Talk about consistency. This guy was the model of consistency. Took care of his body, ate everything the right way, was always in the weight room, always putting in extra work. And then the leadership aspect too, like the dude brought it every single day. He made me a better man, made me a better teammate, and guys, we need that. Like football especially, and sports, that's that's the part I love, man. It's you can't do it without the guy next to you. Football is the ultimate team sport, especially. That's why I love it. It's because I need this left tackle next to me. I need this receiver. I need a quarterback, obviously. I need everybody, and we're all have to be in sync. So I love having to rely on somebody, and that's exactly what that translates to life too. We can't do life alone either. We need friends. We need people that are going to call us up. We need people that are going to hold us accountable. We need that in our life, and so sports can be such a reflection of what life is too. I've learned that through the years, and that's why I love football. That's why I love sports, because it translates in a lot of ways to life, because we need people that are going to call us up, make us accountable, and make us better people in the end of the day.
No doubt. Yeah, and the reason I asked about consistency at first was because as a teammate, Hunter is the most consistent person, most consistent teammate that you can ever play with, right? Every single day he shows up early, works his tail off. He supports those around him. He brings other people up. He encourages people. He's not putting people down, right? He's competing with others, right? And the competition is a healthy competition. It's not, oh, I'm going to beat you and you deserve to, you don't deserve to be on this field. It's I'm going to beat you, but we're also going to get better together, right? And so that's what a good teammate does. It brings the other, he brings his people, he elevates his people, he elevates his teammates. Let's talk about distractions, right? So there's a lot of distractions in the world today. There's a lot of, you got your phone, you got, things going on social media and on the news. Talk about why, especially during the middle of a season, right? You got a lot of hype, people hyping you up, people saying negative things. How do you avoid or prevent yourself from getting tripped up by the distractions, by the hype? How do you maintain focus on what you need to focus on?
Yeah, honestly, over the last about 5 years, obviously social media is a big thing in our world nowadays. And a lot of people like to say a lot of things on social media, either nice things, but majority I would say is pretty mean things on there. So for me, just with my mindset, I like to keep my mind sharp. I like to keep positive mindset. That's always what I always trying to think. So I don't want to feed myself things that are just going to continue to bring me down. So social media can be something that can obviously bring you down. So for me, I just eliminate those things. So during the season, a lot of times I might post or whatever. If you see a post from me, it's usually my wife, honestly. She runs my Instagram. So I just eliminate it, man. Like I don't look at it. I just eliminate a distraction. Like if something's like pulling me aside or pulling me away, like I just want to eliminate it. And like that would be the biggest thing I would say is like you just got to find a way. Like get rid of social media. Like or you're playing video games all the time. Like just get rid of it for a period of time. Or put the TV away and do something else. Like do your homework or do something just to pull yourself away. So just like eliminate that thing and just like try to have that perseverance to just eliminate it for a period of time.
Talk about what it means to be a leader on your team, for your family, for the people around you in your community. What does that mean to you, and how do you show up as a leader?
I think it all goes back to what we just talked about at the beginning is you got to be consistent, man. To be the best leader, you got to show up every single day and not waver. So that's my goal every single day is to show up, to be consistent, be the best player I can be, best man I can be, best teammate I can be. And when I do that, I feel like I earn the respect of my guys, and then I can call those guys up when I see something. I'm not a big bark, rah-rah guy and doing all, like getting on the guys and stuff. I'm more of a positive, kind of glass half full kind of guy. So I earn the respect of the guys, and then at some point you got to call guys up, try to bring them to your level. You got to get yourself to that level first, but then once you get there, like you start calling guys up. So that's the biggest thing is showing up every single day and being as consistent as you can be.
I love it. I love it. Let's talk about some more like physical, tangible things. So what about your recovery? What does your recovery process look like? Are you just getting in the weight room for 2 hours every single day and getting after it, or are you taking some breaks? What does that look like?
Off season and in season are very different. Obviously in season, every Sunday is like, it's like getting in a car wreck every single week. It is. I wake up on Monday mornings. There's some Monday mornings I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the next week. It's gonna be tough. So my process is different, but I have a routine and I stick to it. So every week I have a massage on Monday or Tuesday. At this point in my career, like I have to have that. I get in the sauna and I sweat everything out. And then I always do a lift Monday or Tuesday, a flush lift and a run. Lifting in season is big. Like I got to keep my strength. I got to keep everything going because I don't want to waver off at the end. Like we play a 17-game season now. Hopefully always is, you play more, you play up to 20 games. But I got to be at my best in November and December. It's like a crescendo through the whole year. So massage, sauna, and the weight, like lifting weights is huge. Off season, what does that look like? I take time after the season. I get crushed for 17 weeks. For 4 months, I'm practicing every day, taking hits, beating up my body. So I take some time to rest at this point in my career. And it's kind of the same routine. Like I get a massage as much as I can. I do a lot of PT, a lot of maintenance, a lot of mobility, trying to make sure that I keep my body moving in the right direction. And then obviously strength and speed is the biggest thing. Like that's the biggest thing in our game now is like, how are you going to gain an edge? And I've always been blessed with size, but my speed has always been, can be, something I've always had to work on. And so if I can gain an edge in any aspect, gain a second, gain a step on anybody, that's what I'm always trying to train to do in the off season.
I love it. Let's do one more and then we'll do some Q&A. So, what's the most difficult part of being in the NFL? The NFL, baby, the National Football League at the top level. What's the most difficult part?
Most difficult part? That's very open-ended. There's a lot of difficult
parts.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, like I said, each level you go to, like high school, I was, one of the top guys. It was, each level is competitive and everything. And then I got to college. I was playing the SEC, and every week is tough. You're playing the big dogs, and then you make it to my level where I'm at, and it's like, each week in college you're playing a guy that you have to get ready for. You got to be ready. Like you're like, all right, like we're playing Myles Garrett this week. Like we got to get ready. Like I got to buckle up. But like in the NFL, it's like there is no weeks off. Like you got to be ready every single day. Like every Wednesday practice, I got to be ready to go against like top guys in the league against my own teammates. And then every Sunday, like I gotta buckle up. Like it's on. Like every Sunday is on. Like I don't get to take a play off. I don't get to take a day off. Like so I think that's the most challenging part. And then every single year, the competition is just constant, man. Like these kids coming in the draft this year are trying to come take my job. You know what I mean? Like, and I have that's the mindset I have is like, I got 1,000 kids coming in all across colleges that are trying to take my job. Like, what am I gonna do every single day to make sure this kid doesn't take my job? And like, this is what I do to provide for my family. So like, that's my mindset is like, the competition is just always going. And I love it. Like it drives me, it pushes me, and just excites me every single day to get up and like go to work and put that work in so that I can go out and compete at the highest level.
I love it. I love it. Q&A, baby. We already got a question. All right, let's go. What you got?
We're ready. Is it scripted?
Oh!
I don't know, man. I don't know if it's
That's
scripted
what everybody
or
wants to
not,
know,
man.
huh?
I don't think it is, but hey, it might be. I don't know.
Let's go over here. Yep.
Why did I choose Arkansas? Well, I got a long lineage of my family at Arkansas. My grandfather played basketball at Arkansas, and my dad played football here. So I got a lineage of people. My whole family went here. At the end of the day, I felt like I had a chance. I visited all these schools. I went to Bama, I went to Georgia, I went to like the top dogs. And at the end of the day, I was just like, I just couldn't see myself playing there and like watching Arkansas from afar. And I always had a pride about Arkansas. So I took a lot of pride in this state and representing this state. So at the end of the day, I was like, I gotta come here.
No doubt. Let's go Jace right here.
What were your stats this year?
What were my stats? This is actually my worst year. That's why I've been working pretty hard this offseason. Honestly, a lot of things I can't control. I don't like to place blame or anything. We had a rough year this year with the Patriots, offensively especially. But I think I had like 430 yards with 7 or 8 touchdowns. But it was actually probably one of my worst years. So I'm hoping to, double that next year.
He's going to for sure. They got a new coach coming in. It's gonna be great. Let's go, Mason.
That's a good question.
Good question.
I'm probably the most nervous I was my freshman year. We were playing Jadeveon Clowney, and he was supposed to be the #1 overall pick that year, and I was supposed to block him the whole game. And I was just a young freshman. But I held my own. He got me some. I got him some. And he was tough that day. I would say that was like the most nervous I remember myself being. But in the NFL, man, I go against really good dudes all the time. But probably one of the best safeties I've ever been against was one of my teammates that I played with with the Chargers. His name is Derwin James.
Baller.
Do I have his number?
Hey,
Yeah.
DJ, what's up? Hold on, DJ.
Have I ever? I have not, but that's a goal for sure.
Coming soon. Let's go, James. Oh! Easy.
Honestly, man, my family, they're the most important people in my life. So, spoil my wife and my family, but also like, dude, it's just the object at the end of the day, man. Like I love giving. Giving is something that is near and dear to my heart. So, I give back a lot, and so that's a priority in my life that I like always with my money. Like I want to give first before I take the rest.
How fast can you run?
How fast? When I was coming
Slower
out,
than me.
When I was coming out, I did run I ran the fastest I ever ran was 4.66, 40.
4.68. That's pretty speedy.
On my catapult,
let's go right here.
I've hit 20 miles an hour. On my catapult, right at 20.
Who's your favorite player in NFL history?
My favorite player in NFL history? I loved a guy named Tony Gonzalez.
Oh.
He was an inspiration to me, and a guy named Jason Witten. He was good. Gronk was good, but those two guys were somebody near.
Let's go right here. Let's go right here.
I don't lose against the Saints.
What is it?
He's a Saints.
Oh,
You want me to go to the Saints?
No, yes. Don't answer that question.
How did I lose against the Saints? I beat them too, but I've lost to them. So I mean, that's just it all goes around. You know what I mean?
let's go Easton.
Yeah, I do. I say nerves. Nerves mean you care, man. Like if you're not getting nerves, obviously there's not something churning in you. Like I still get nervous to this day. It's not the same nerves that like I used to get when I was like really young. Like I used to get crazy nerves when I was really young, but now it's just more of like anxiousness and like angst to go play. Like I'm ready. But every game I feel something. Like I mean, I got to go out there and run in front of 100,000 people and millions of people watching. So you definitely get a little nerves.
If you ever get too nervous, one thing you can do is to think about that as excitement. Like he was just saying, it's really just you're excited, right? It's something important to you. So instead of saying like, oh, I'm overwhelmed by stress, just think about it as like, oh, I'm just excited. I'm ready to go, right? Let's go right here, Soren.
Is Mac Jones is he a good quarterback to you?
Yeah, Mac is. I love Mac. I think he's a great quarterback. I really do. I'll stand by that to the day I go. I mean, I think he struggled, obviously. Went through some things, and that's just part of it, man. Like sometimes things don't go your way, and that's my guy, though, and I'll stand by him till the end of my career, to the end of my day.
Let's go a couple more. Let's go in the black hat back there.
The hip drop
The
tackle.
hip drop tackle.
I'm an offensive player, so I kind of love it, but at the same time, them banning it, it's going to be an interesting rule to watch, just to see how, because it's kind of subjective to how you judge it in a way. It makes it definitely a lot harder on defensive players. So I don't think it's a full-time thing. I think they're trying it out, and we'll see how it goes.
Let's go Cade right here.
What's one thing that helped you in your recruiting process?
Prayer was huge for me personally. Just discerning things, like getting good people around you to like help guide those decisions. Maybe that people that have been through it before too. And then, I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta have like, at the end of the day, it's your decision, man. Like if you feel good about it and you love the school and you love where you're gonna go, like just go all in, man. Like be fired up about it, and don't hold anything back on it.
Sweet. Let's go right here. He's been waiting for it.
Have you ever played with Phillip Rivers?
I have played with Phillip Rivers.
What'd you think?
I played 4 years with Phillip Rivers.
What'd you like about him as a player, as a teammate?
Phillip Rivers, probably one of my favorite teammates ever. So competitive, the most competitive dude I've ever been around. It was a blast to be around him.
What inspired you to be a tight end?
Oh, they're jamming out there. What inspired me? So I played all positions growing up. I love tight end because it's like I get to do everything. Like I get to be an offensive lineman and I get to be a receiver. I'm like kind of like the second quarterback on the field. So it's like, I think it's the most fun position on the field. Like I love it. I get to touch the ball, but also kind of get to be an O-lineman at some point. So I think it's a tough, behind quarterback, I think it's the toughest position on the field.
No doubt. Let's go in the back in the red.
The easiest? Huh. The easiest team I've ever been against. Like in my life?
Don't you say it, bro.
Man, we went against some bad teams in college though. We played like Nicholls State. What did we beat them? Like 80-7 or something, 80-0. That was pretty bad.
We rolled them.
And we were like, I mean, we were an all right team. I don't know if we were 80-7 good, and that was That was big.
He was big, yeah. Let's go Stetson. Hi, say it louder.
How did I get there? Well, I mean, I can't like go by and I say like I was, my dad was big and like I was blessed with some God-given size, like, which helps. Like I could be remiss without saying that. But you can only go so far with size. Like I had to put a lot of extra work in. I played a lot of sports, I think, too, that translated to football. So like basketball was like one of my favorite sports actually, and like helped me a ton, which I recommend to a lot of you guys. Like play as many sports as you can. So I played basketball for my whole life, really. I think it helped me translate like my footwork and feet and speed and quickness in a lot of ways, like to football. And then the weight room was huge for me. Once I got to like high school, that helped me make a lot of gains pretty fast, especially at the age I was. So spending as much time as I could in there, and then just like growing in knowledge, like just going out and playing playing football with your friends and playing on the field and learning and trying to like adapt, like put those, one 7-on-7 game apply to the next, or the one game apply to the next. Just trying to grow your knowledge. So a few of those things kind of helped me get to the next level.
Sweet, y'all. We could do questions all day. I think that's going to be it. Guys, let's give Hunter Henry a round of applause. Hey, thanks, bro. Appreciate you coming out. All right, let's do a flex. Everybody flex. Let's go. Let's get a flex on him, huh? Let's see it, Hunter. What's up, dog? Sweet. All good? All good? Let's go. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Good work. Good work. Good work.